All right, in this video, I'll show you how you can make SEO apps using Streamlit and ChatGPT. So this is one that I made, and what it does is you enter a web page and it will do an SEO audit for that page. As you can see, it checks the title tag, meta description, H1, images, links, anchor text, and you don't really need to be familiar with coding because we're mostly just going to use ChatGPT. All right, step one in ChatGPT, I've provided it with a file. So this file contains two scripts. The first script is a sitemap scraper. So you enter a URL and it scrapes sitemaps. And the other script is my SEO Auditor script. And what I'm trying to do is use the parts of the code from both of them and kind of mash them together. And the SEO Auditor script has a function for page speed insights. So I'm after that. I'm trying to make a new app where you enter the URL and it scrapes the page speed insights for every URL in there. So this is the prompt that I made, and it's currently working on it. So it says this file contains two scripts. One script is for scraping sitemaps. The other script is for auditing a page. Create a new app.py script that combines both of these scripts. The app should allow the user to enter a URL. It will then scrape the sitemap and run page speed insights for each URL found in the sitemap. It will then output the page speed insights data to a table that can then be downloaded. So that's a good first step, although I highly doubt that ChatGPT will be able to create this on the first try. It's going to take a little bit of troubleshooting. As you can see, it's already giving me feedback, so then I'm just kind of going to go back and forth with it a little bit. All right, so for its first response, it's basically telling me what the game plan is. It's saying that it kind of understands the functionality that I'm looking for, and it's describing it. So my next prompt is going to be, please provide the full code. And then we're going to see if it can give us a version 1 of the full code for this script. While it's working on that, I'm going to show you how to set up a repository in GitHub. So that's how you set up your projects so that you can test them out and then run them with Streamlit. So you need a GitHub account. I won't cover that part, but you just go to new repository, and I'm going to type something in here. I will go for page speed insights auditor. And then once you have set up your file, you just click create a repository. You don't need to worry about all the other stuff. And then you want to add a file. So create a new file. And at the very least, your Streamlit app needs two files. One is called app.py. So create that. And then another file that you will need is called requirements.txt. So with Streamlit, it loads the requirements, like your libraries, through a requirements.txt file. And then once you have that set up, you just go into Streamlit and you go new app. And I have it hooked up to my GitHub already, but you can set that up when you're setting up your Streamlit account. And then in Streamlit, you just want to go new app. And I already have my repositories hooked up to Streamlit. But when you're creating an account, that is one of the options. So just make sure you set that up. And then for the main file path, you just want to put app.py. And you can also change the URL while you're here. I'm just going to get rid of all of the letters and numbers at the end there. So then just hit deploy. And after you hit deploy, it's going to start running, and it'll show you these like foods and say it's in the ovens. So while we're working on that, let's check back on ChatGPT. So here's its version 1 of the page speed scraper. We're going to take that, copy it, and we're going to put it in app.py. So I just paste that in, hit commit changes, And before I test this out, so need the .text file, please. So don't forget about the requirements.txt. You need to make sure that you're calling all of the correct libraries for your app to work. All right, now I'm in the requirements.txt, and I'm just going to paste in the ones that it gave me and hit commit changes. And once you do that, you can reload your app. So to do that, you'll notice that it crashed because I started running it before I had it actually set up. And to restart it, which is something that you'll need to do every time you change the libraries, you just click on these dots down here and you go reboot app. And then we'll just wait a minute to watch it load again. All right, now that the app has loaded, here is version 1. And as you can see, it's got two fields, one to enter the URL of your sitemap and the other for the Google PageSpeed Insights API key. So before we run this app, I'm actually going to do one additional step, which is moving the API key into your secrets file. And what that is Streamlit apps have a built-in place to store your API keys in the secrets file. So to find that, you just click on the dots and you go to settings, and then you go to secrets. And this is where you're going to put your API keys. So for the PageSpeed API key, this is the correct format what you want to go for. So just PageSpeed API key with underscores equals, and then in quotation marks, you're going to put the API key there. I'm not going to record that part because you don't want to give out your API keys, but that's all you need to do. So you just grab it from the PageSpeed Insights in Google Cloud Console and paste it right in there. So here's some feedback that I gave ChatGPT for the script. Can you change it so that it uses the Streamlit secrets file for the PageSpeed API key? So now it's going to give me an updated script that uses the secrets file instead of the user having to enter it. And then when you have updated code, you just want to go back to app.py, hit that little editor icon, and swap it out like that. And then hit commit changes, and it will update the app. So if you click on that little arrow, you'll notice that it actually updates it every time you update your GitHub files. So every time you change and commit your changes, it's going to update your Streamlit. And as you can see, it's broken. So now we're going to troubleshoot it using ChatGPT as well. So to troubleshoot, you can, just to keep it really simple, you can just copy and paste any errors that it gives you, and it'll tell you what to do. So I found what the issue was, and it had something to do with the formatting of the PageSpeed API key. So I basically just provided those details, and it gave me the updated code. So I'm going to copy and paste that in and hit commit changes. Then over on Streamlit, we're just waiting for the app to update. All right, after a bit of back and forth, it's kind of doing what I want it to do. As you can see, it's scraping my sitemap and it is running it into a table, and it's pulling the PageSpeed insights for them, which is cool. The only issue now is that it keeps making more tables, which is kind of funny. So every time it does a new page in the sitemap, it does a new table. So I'm just going to troubleshoot that with it. So all I'm going to do is go into ChatGPT and say, it makes a new table every time instead of building on previous table. And then I'm just going to send that over to ChatGPT and see what it says. Okay, so here's the new output since I gave it the prompt to ask it to fix the table error. So it gave me an updated code, and I'm just going to commit that. And then we're going to test it out again to see if it works. So this whole like testing and tweaking process is basically most of how it works. I just go one step at a time and fix one thing at a time. If you try and do more than once, it can be confusing for ChatGPT. And since I'm not really good with Python yet, it's better for me to do it this way as well. Okay, and as you can see, now it's pulling the page speed insights for the whole table. And it's kind of slow, but at least it's working. So here you go. It's running, it's saying processing URL out of 4 out of 7. It's got a nice progress bar and it's working its way down the list. And it pulls the overall score, first contentful paint, speed index, largest contentful paint, time to interactive, total blocking time, and cumulative layout shift. So that's pretty cool. And then you can download it as a CSV as soon as it's done. So that's pretty cool. I will show you the whole prompt sequence that I went through with ChatGPT from start to finish. And there wasn't actually too much back and forth. So I'll just start from the very beginning and walk you through everything I did really quick one more time. So step one, I gave it some inspiration text. That helped a lot and it sped up the process. You don't need the inspiration text. You can totally start from the very beginning, but this just saved me some trouble. There's a lot of people who share scripts online that already do the things that you're looking for, so you may as well use them if you can. So basically, I explained what these scripts are and the new app that I'm looking for. It confirmed listing out all of the things that I'm asking for and all of the functions it has. And then I said, please provide the full code. So then it provides the full code for the app.py file. And then I asked, I also need the requirements.txt file, please. Earlier in the video, I covered how you need that as well to run the Streamlit application. And then I did a little bit of back and forth. So we talked about the API key. So the first version asked you to put in the API key right in the app. And then I switched it to use the secrets file. So a little bit of prompting and back and forth to get that updated. And then I had some errors. So I just copy pasted the errors straight into ChatGPT and it troubleshooted itself. And I found the issue, which was the formatting of the page speed API key. So it continued to provide new code. And then I noticed that it was only putting out one page speed insight function. So I asked for all the ones that were available. So it created the new logic for me. And then I asked it for the full code again, because sometimes it can output the summarized version and it's easier if you can just get the full code and copy paste it. So you really don't have to think at all. So here's the full code. And then I pasted in another error that I got. It troubleshooted for me. Another error, another troubleshoot. I think we installed a new function there. And then once I saw that it was starting to work, now I start getting picky for how I want it to look and feel. So I said I would like to see a progress bar as it progresses down the sitemap, and I want to see the table being filled out as I wait. So that's what it's doing here. So it's got that progress bar and the table being filled out as you wait. That way you're not just sitting there staring at a blank screen hoping for some data eventually. You can see that it's actually working. And then it gives me the updated scripts for that. And then I asked for the updated requirements.txt. Then there's the troubleshooting of the new table every time. So basically it was creating new tables every time it pulled a new URL. And this is my favorite prompt out of all of them. If ChatGPT is ever giving you a hard time, not giving you the full code, and you don't want to use your brain at all, here's the secret prompt. I lost the old code with all the functions. I need the full code, please. So if you tell ChatGPT that you lost the old code, it'll give you the full code and it has a much higher success rate. And that was the last prompt that I had with it. And there's the app. So all in all, it was just a small handful of prompts, and it only took me a few minutes to put it together. So pretty cool. And I'm a total beginner with Python, so all the apps that I've built have not been like me coding them. I'm just like working with ChatGPT and doing these kind of back and forth prompts. I am learning as I go, but it's really cool to be able to put it to practical use as you're learning how to code with Python. That's all there is to it. I'll share the link to the app so that you can try it out as well. But hope this helps and good luck building your own version. Thanks very much and have a great day.